Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Today is Tuesday, December 6th, 2022. It is 5:30 p.m. on the dot, and this is the City of Homestead, Florida Committee of the Whole meeting. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Bailey? Councilwoman Faircloth Staggers? Councilman Roth? Councilman Fletcher? Vice Mayor Guzman? Mayor Losner?
Here. Thank you all. Mr. Manager, any additions, deletions, or deferrals?
There are none, Mayor.
Thank you. We have before us the minutes of our November 8th, 2022 Committee of the Whole meeting. We have a motion to approve as presented. Moved by Councilwoman Bailey, seconded by Vice Mayor Guzman. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The next item is tab 2, motion to place car number 3726 on the council agenda. A professional services agreement with Homestead Main Street. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. Staff recommends that Mayor and City Council, sorry, super loud. Sorry about that. Staff recommends that Mayor and City Council approve the attached resolution authorizing City Manager to enter into a professional services agreement with Homestead Main Street, Inc. for a total of $50,000 annually. This is a one-year agreement with the option to extend for 2 additional one-year periods upon the same terms, conditions, and mutual written consent of both parties. Under the terms of this agreement, Homestead Main Street, Inc. will conduct a series of events and engage in marketing activities that will attract visitors to downtown Homestead. The scope of services and compensation remain the same as the previous agreement approved by the mayor and council in 2019. And we have Main Street here if anyone has any questions.
Council, any questions, comments, concerns? Okay, Councilwoman Bailey?
Thank you, Mayor. So especially coming right after our tree lighting event, I think that the one most special thing that I see from Main Street is just their relationship with all the different local organizations. My oldest is going to be 13 next week, and his very first outing was walking out to one of the Main Street events. So obviously I have been to many of them, and I love how they reach out to the local community and those relationships that they've formed over the last, I don't know even how many years before I moved here, but I would love to see this go through. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Vice Mayor Guzman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to ask Main Street if there are any other events that we may not know of that are going to be spectacular that might be in the pipeline. I'd love to hear from Ms. Knowles.
Good evening. My name is Yvonne Knowles. I'm the Director of Homestead Main Street. Good evening, Mayor and Council. We have a couple of events we're looking forward to. We have our Carnival in March. We had a new project called Stages on Chrome, Events on Chrome, which is still it's a working title. We don't have a final project on that, promoting our downtown businesses. I'm sorry, I just had a cap fall off my tooth, so I'm like talking and trying to keep it all together here, so if I jump out of here real fast, I've just lost it, or I swallow it. The other projects, Fiesta USA was our big project in September. We were working together with the city on this fantastic one. We had Christmas in the Park, which was amazing, and Carnival, and we also have our car show with the Corvette Club in Homestead coming up. And we have our Eco Fair, the Eco Fair coming up in May. And then we have Military Appreciation Day, of course, also.
So these are all events that have already occurred, or any
No,
that
these
you
are
just
upcoming.
No, but any of the events are new events, or?
The new one would be the car show, the Corvette Club car show on Chrome Avenue. And the other one that's going to be kind of new is our concept of the refashioned carnival.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Knowles.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
If there's nothing further, do we have a motion to place this on the council agenda? Moved by Councilman Roth. Second by Vice Mayor Guzman. All in favor? Any opposed? All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Next item, tab 3 is a motion to place car number 3714 on the council agenda, fiscal year 2021-22 consolidated annual performance and evaluation public hearing. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. As a recipient of CDBG entitlement formula federal funds from HUD, the city is required to submit a consolidated annual performance evaluation report, CAPER, to HUD within 90 days after the end of the fiscal year. The CAPER describes the activities undertaken during the year beginning on October 1st, 2021 and ending on September 30th, 2022. This includes information on the city's CDBG program, the resources made available to administer the programs, and where and how these resources are invested. In accordance with the city's approved Citizens Participation Plan, the CAPER was advertised for 15 days, for a 15-day public comment period, commencing on November 18th, 2022, and ending prior to December 5th, 2022. A public hearing will be held on Tuesday, December 6th, 2022, that's today, prior to the approval of the item, and at the City Council meeting on Wednesday, December 14th, 2022. Staff recommends that Mayor and Council approve the fiscal year 2021-2022 Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report and authorize staff to transmit the CAPER with supporting resolutions to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Miami Field Office.
Council, questions, comments? All right, do we have a motion to forward this to the council agenda? Yes. Councilwoman Fairclough Staggers.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one question. With the STEM services being provided through the Give Me a Dream Foundation, how is that going?
Good evening. My name is Vicki Placid Picard. I'm with Calvin Jordan and Associates. We are the CDBG administrators for the city. So for the STEM program, they began in September. So they meet monthly. The next program, I believe, is this Saturday that they're having, and they are expected to continue until February. So they've had an influx of children, new and children who are returning. And we expect to visit the site in January when they do have their January event. But I think so far at each program, he's had over 100 kids. And it's one Saturday per month.
So how is it being marketed? Because I think I saw it on, I don't know where I saw that they would be there, but it was the day of, and I didn't have time to prepare to get there. So how is it being marketed? And if we can be provided a schedule on those Saturday sessions so that if we would like to go and just participate, we'd have the opportunity to do so.
Absolutely. We'll get all the dates, the upcoming dates, and provide it to the city manager's office. Because it's done through social media, and then they work with the schools, but we'll make sure that everyone's aware of the upcoming dates.
Considering the Cybrarium is capturing people from all over Miami-Dade County and Broward County, are we capturing the amount of our residents that are participating in this event and these sessions?
This program is only open to homestead residents. Because of the CDBG funding, it cannot be used for outside residents, so they do have to provide a registration, they do have to show proof of residency, as well as show that because it's CDBG funds, it is for individuals who are considered low to moderate income, so we do ask that they provide information from the school that they may be on free or reduced lunch, or do receive Medicaid.
So parents are bringing that the day of the event?
So we've had that discussion with them to capture it prior to. It wasn't something that was being done
That's
before.
not something I want to show the day of the event.
But
I know Give Me a Dream always has like a registration portion when they market.
Right.
So as a part of the information that the parents have to input to register, is that where they're putting the information as it relates to the school, free reduced lunch status, their residency? How does that look?
So the information is on the registration. However, they can bring the documentation in when they come on the Saturday for the event. Because a lot of people aren't able to upload that information, so they can bring the actual copies in person.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure our residents are taking advantage of it and those outside of Homestead aren't monopolizing the seats. So if we can just make sure that there are Homestead residents participating in this, I think that'd be great. And then if you can forward the dates for their Saturday STEM sessions, that would be awesome as well. From my experience with them in the city and throughout Miami-Dade County, they do great work. So I just wanted to make sure that the quality is still there and they're not getting too big that the quality is declining.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve. Moved by Councilwoman Bailey, seconded by Vice Mayor Guzman. All in favor? Any opposed? And tab 4, motion to place car number 3697 on the council agenda, the J.D. Red Park Playground Capital Improvement Project number 2030. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. The playground at J.D. Red Park is 19 years old and in need of replacement. This project will consist of removing all the playground equipment and replacement with new landscape structures, equipment, and PIP rubber surfacing. The new playground will include elements for all ages as well as sensory play elements. Staff recommends that Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with REP Services, Inc. for the replacement of the playground at J.D. Red Park for a total not to exceed $257,336.83. This project is part of the city's capital improvement plan, CIP 2030, and will be funded by park impact fees and grant funds. This purchase is in accordance with Clay County RFP 1819-2, various equipment and amenities for parks and playgrounds.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Any questions or comments from council? Councilman Fletcher.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Manager, yesterday I met with you and your staff, and I'd asked a question. I never got any follow-up onto it as far as did we put this out or did we discuss this with any other park-type personnel for bid application, or were we completely just jumping onto a state contract or county contract?
So this is a piggyback procurement. The REP Services, Inc. is one of the authorized vendors for the landscape structures equipment. They only authorize certain vendors, certain installers, and this company, the landscape structures company, provides the high quality and durable equipment that we were looking for. So we went through their authorized vendors.
And this vendor is located where?
They're in Palm Beach County.
So I just want to reiterate the point that, again, I want to reiterate the point again that this is a large amount of money. We have 3 different items here that we're going to be approving tonight. It's a large amount of money. I think this type of thing should go out for bid, and we should be doing local vendor preferences. That's my 2 cents for the night. Thank you.
And
Thank you, Councilman.
And Councilman, to alleviate your concerns, I have spoken to procurement. What we could do in the future is an RFI as well to reach out to the local vendors to see if there's anyone who provides that particular service. So I think that may help address some of the concerns, making sure that local vendors get reached out to. That's what we do for vehicles. When we're piggybacking off for vehicles, we usually do an RFI just to give our local vendors an opportunity to see if they can match the price.
I appreciate that, and I just think we need to do more of it, is all.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Thank
Councilwoman Bailey.
Thank you, Mayor. Are these will the fence remain? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
The renderings are beautiful. I love how creative the playgrounds are getting, but I wanted to make sure that it was not going to be right next to a parking lot.
No, it
without
will
a
be
fence.
fenced.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Any further? Councilwoman Fairclough Staggers.
Yes, thank you. I had an opportunity, and thank you, Pedro, for really looking at the equipment and what it offers. I especially like the fact that there are sensory components to these playgrounds. What I would like to request moving forward, that we try to move towards inclusive playgrounds for children with disabilities so that they can access our beautiful and upgraded playgrounds as well. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. And we spoke with the master plan consultants, and they actually suggested that at Whitcott Park, we could combine the two play areas into one larger accessible playground.
Hey, do we have a motion to place this on the council agenda? Moved by Councilwoman Bailey, seconded by Councilman Fletcher. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, our next item is tab 5, motion to place car number 3699 on the council agenda. This is the Angelo Mastretta Park Playground Capital Improvement Project number 2041. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. The playground at Angelo Mastretta Park is 16 years old and in need of replacement. This project will consist of removing all the playground equipment and replacement with new landscape structures, equipment, and PIP rubber surfacing. The new playground will include elements for all ages, as well as a sensory play elements and new shade sails. Staff recommends that Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with REP Services, Inc. for the replacement of the playground at Angelo Mastretta Park for a total not to exceed $283,222.67. This project is part of the city's capital improvement plan, CIP 2041, and will be funded by park impact fees and grant funds. This purchase is in accordance with Clay County RFP 1819-2, various equipment, amenities for parks and playgrounds.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Council? Councilwoman Bailey.
Thank you, Mayor. How old is Blakey Park's playground?
It's approximately 10 or 11 years old.
Okay, so this one's older.
Yes.
Okay.
But the Blakey we are adding to the CIP. So
Super.
that's
And as much as I would love to see it happen, especially after the master plan workshop, really thinking about it to move it, I really want to make sure that when we do it really, really well. But again, kudos on picking some really interesting looking fun things. Thank you.
And Councilwoman, we did actually reach out to Randy from B&A about, after we had our meeting in terms of the location and the equipment that we're ordering, and we got a thumbs up from him.
Councilwoman.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The playground looks beautiful. I'm just concerned that the wind sail shade structure is more cosmetic than an actual shade structure, because according to this, it appears as if the majority of the playground areas are left to the elements, and it gets really hot here. And I'm not sure if these wind sails are gonna cut it.
So the great thing about Mastretta Park is that there is a pretty robust tree canopy. So we, for this design, went with the integrated shade sails to shade the center portions, but the tree canopy should actually shade the other exterior portions of the playground.
It should shade or it will shade?
It will shade.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. We have a motion to place this on the council agenda. Moved by Councilwoman Bailey, seconded by Vice Mayor Guzman. All in favor? Any opposed?
Public comment there.
Go ahead. Let's get Mr. Kraft a microphone.
Just a simple question. Now when we do all those playground activities, that's great for the kids. But what about cleaning them, because they will be with algae and all things, other things, bird shit and what have you and what have you not? How often will they be cleaned and how much would that cost? Thanks.
Mr. Manager?
Well, the Parks does have a maintenance program where they do go out and take a look at the structures and clean them up. Deep pressure cleaning, we do an average of every 6 months. But any cursory stuff that we see on there, we take care of it with the park aides when they go out there and take a look at the park.
Good, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kraft. Yes, Councilwoman Bailey?
Sorry, completion dates for the two playgrounds?
Looking at July, with lead times to getting the playground materials.
For both?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, I think we had a voice vote on that already, didn't we?
Yes.
Okay. All right, our next item is tab 6, motion to place car number 3727 on the council agenda. Florida Department of Environmental Protection, 6th Avenue Drainage Improvement Grant. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. The City of Homestead Public Works and Engineering Stormwater Division applied for and was awarded a $1,250,000 grant from the State of Florida Department of Environmental Protection for the design and construction of new stormwater facilities, which includes the installation of catch basins, manholes, pipelines, and exfiltration trenches between Southwest 6th Avenue and Northwest 6th Avenue from Campbell Drive to Lucy Street. Staff recommends that Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement and establish a budget for a grant award of $1,250,000 from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection for the design and construction of the 6th Avenue drainage improvements. This grant requires the matching funds of $1,250,000, which was budgeted this year in the Public Works budget.
Good, thank you. Council, questions, comments, concerns? Have a motion to approve. Moved by Councilman Fletcher. Second by Councilwoman Bailey. All in favor? Any opposed? Next item, tab 7, is motion to place car number 3739 on the council agenda. The Superion LLC, AKA Central Square Technologies, sole source procurement. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. The Superion Government Software Suite is the primary financial and administrative computer software system used by the City of Homestead. The system includes modules such as asset management, continuing property records, cash receipts, customer information, utility billing systems, extended reporting, fleet management, global financials, land parcel management, etc. Superion LLC has been the city's single source provider since 1990 and was previously approved as a sole source in 2007. Staff recommends that Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase supplies, equipment, and services within the established departmental budgets and to renew maintenance agreements with Superion LLC, aka Central Square Technologies. This authorization will also allow for price increases and contract extensions when applicable. This is a housekeeping item.
Thank you. Council, any questions or comments on this item? Vice Mayor Guzman.
Thank you, Mayor. I had a question in regards to the amount of data that it collects. Does it collect a lot of resident data, like emails?
Yeah, depending on the department, for example, customer service collects people's emails, development services, business license, yes, that information is collected.
Do we have an idea of how many emails are in that database? If we've got roughly 84,000 residents,
You said, you mean email addresses?
Yeah.
Oh, emails, I was going to say in the hundreds of millions, but
the reason I'm
that's-
asking is to see if we could utilize that database to push information out from the city.
we could definitely get together with IT and do an extract and see what we have and get you that information.
Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilman Fletcher.
Yes, thank you. So, understanding this is a long-term contract, I saw the first one in here from Mr. Cooper Smith a long time ago in '91. With that being said, I know that technology has improved over the years. Does this provide us the potential where we might be able to have a City of Homestead app one day where we can have customers pay their bills, online, via an app store or thing of that nature? It talks about cash receipts and things of that. This is a lot of money we're going to spend at some point in time as an ongoing contract. Do we have that capability?
Well, right now, you could definitely do an online payment of your bill. In terms of an app, Yaniel, no, not at this time.
So we're, for the HPS customers, we are currently looking into creating a customer portal application, just like you have with FP&L, where you can view your consumption, your projected bill, make your payments. That will integrate with the Central Square system, but Central Square itself does not actually provide the application architecture.
Okay, I understand that. I just want to make sure you say we're looking at, when do we look like we're going to implement something like that?
We're hoping to implement this fiscal year. It was a budgeted CIP through customer service.
Can we get a more firm date rather than hoping?
We'll get you a more definitive date. Obviously, it's a prolonged process. There's a lot of programming involved, APIs, things of that nature. But that's definitely where we want to go, right? So everybody has a cell phone. To at least let people pay their bills, check any type of city documents, things of that nature. So those are things we're constantly working on.
That's all.
Okay. Anything further? We have a motion to approve. Moved by Vice Mayor Guzman, seconded by Councilwoman Bailey. All in favor? Any opposed? That brings us to the conclusion of our formal agenda. Mr. Manager, do you have anything further?
Nothing for staff, Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Attorney?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to request an executive session in the matter of Santiago, Marie Santiago as personal representative of the estate of Lillian Carbello, Alex Carbello, and Martavia Santiago versus the City of Homestead. It's case number 19-014067 in the 11th Judicial Circuit for Miami-Dade County. Thank you.
Hey, let's make it happen. Council, anything? Yes, Councilwoman Bailey?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to share with you, last month, AYSO came and asked for some help with their fundraising, and I have been trying to help them I don't know how many fans of World Cup fans there are, but I thought what a perfect fit this is right now. So they're looking at a few local restaurants to help promote them as being, this is the place where we're going to watch the semifinals or the finals. So we're going to help them put together some catchy little flyers. So if you would all help me, I'll share them with you, and you could share them out through your social media. So that being said, go Netherlands. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Council, anything further? Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. The other day when we were at the Parks Master Plan meeting in our workshop upstairs, I noticed when they showed the data on the demographics, it was pretty evident that when they showed the income levels of the people who live east of the Turnpike, they tend to earn more income than the people west of the Turnpike. So anytime that we have an opportunity to have job fairs, specifically on the southwest side or the northwest side, I'm always going to support that. So on December 14th, Mayor Daniela Levine Cava's office, along with the Department of Human Resources and Career Source, they are going to have a job fair at the FICO Williams Center. I wanted to ask this body if they would support waiving the usage fees for the FICO Williams so that we can continue to provide job fairs and provide that service to the people who live in that area. So I wanted to see if you guys are okay with waiving the fees at the FICO Williams Center, or if you have any questions, Career Source is here to answer anything you may have.
And the event is when?
It's December 14th from 9 to 1 p.m.
Is that after our council meeting or
prior.
Just prior.
just prior?
9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Yeah, it's prior to our council meeting. The event
Ours is
date.
the 16th.
Also, okay, we'll check to see if the facility is available. Obviously, it's the same day as the council meeting when the approval would actually take place. So if you all give me a thumbs up, we can
So
accommodate.
they haven't reached out to Pedro yet?
To
That was
his
under the
knowledge,
impression that
no.
they already had the venue
Okay.
secured.
Okay, so we'll double check to see if they sent the letter in.
So if this is a co-sponsoring with the county, what's the level of their participation? I think you mentioned Mayor Levine Cava's
Right,
staff.
right. I'm not exactly sure, but I know they're doing one in south, they're doing one in the middle of the county, and they're doing one in Doral. And again, I think we ought to provide that service to the people who live in that area, and I think waiving the fees is a good gesture.
What is the fee?
$400 for the whole, 400 for the whole hall.
Right, and I don't disagree with you, but in the bigger picture, the county has a whole lot more money than we do, and neither their partner nor the county has approached us at this point, 8 days out.
Career Source did approach. Career Source
Well, through
approached.
you.
Yeah. And they've done other job fairs at Miami-Dade County that have been extremely successful. I would like to continue to see that happen through the city so that the city residents continue to say, you know, we are seeing opportunities present themselves through the partners that the city has with other government entities.
So what do you need from us, Mr. Manager?
A wink and a nod that you all approve, and then I'll put an item. Do I need to put an item on the agenda anyway?
After the fact of the council meeting.
Yeah, like,
got the
since it's the
Here-
same
here's a-
day and it's
here's an
happening,
elbow.
and it's happening,
And I noticed at the job fair that they had at Miami-Dade College, they were hiring people on the spot. They do a background check right then and there, and I think it's a great service that we're providing the residents of Homestead.
Mayor?
Yes,
Thank you.
Councilman.
Jerry, to uncomplicate things, I'll cover the fee.
thank you, that makes things a lot
Anybody
easier.
else wants to jump on board with me, you're welcome to. So we don't have to take this any further.
Well, let's cut out the county in the future, cut out the middleman, and just deal directly with the career source.
I think they've got a long-term partnership or plan with the county, which is they're just doing this throughout all parts of the county, and I'm glad that they're not leaving us out. You know, for way too long we've been left out, so now that they're here, I think that's a good thing.
And if I may continue, Jerry, will you make sure our assistants know that we're talking about this tonight? Because I think the last two times that we've made a decision up here, and I called the next day, they have no clue what we're
They
talking
hadn't
about.
been aware, okay.
So
We'll
that
make
way,
sure.
they'll follow up, and we'll take care of this. We don't have to bring it back.
Yes, sir.
All right,
But I guess my point was, in the future, we supplement the county's efforts.
right.
You know, we perhaps enter into some sort of partnership
So
with
if we-
Career Source for
I'm hap-
our own residents.
I'm happy to talk to Career Source to see if they want to do a joint venture with us, you know, to provide similar service. So I don't know exactly the extent of the agreement that they have with the county, but if he's here, if you want to speak to him, in case he is. And I also wanted to ask, what makes it complicated when one of us decide to, you know, put the fee up rather than the city?
It's less complicated.
So if the city was going to cover the cost or waive the fee, I need a council majority to go ahead and do that. Now, if you're paying it out of your discretionary funds, that's outside of our venue, or staff's venue at that point. You could donate the money to them and just pay the fee for them.
Overall, it's just paperwork.
Once
If
again,
the city decided to waive the fees, as opposed to us taking it out of our discretionary funds, at the end of the day, it's just paperwork.
more than paper, I need a majority approval here.
Okay. Thank you.
Vice Mayor? if
Yes,
I may-
ma'am.
Mayor, if I may. Is this a one-time event? I might have missed that point. It is a one-time? So I would be also interested in seeing how this can be more frequent. And maybe that would be a component of the relationship or of the curriculum, rather, that you're creating. If we can have it not just for one time, but come back maybe quarterly, whether Miami-Dade County is going to be part of that or not, I'd like for that to continue. And so if it's a city initiative and we're encouraging it to happen, then it's programming provided at the direction of the city, and we can waive those. We're not charging a fee, we're utilizing our own facility at that point. So I think that there is a precedence that's set when you waive fees for certain events, and I think that's the concern, that it needs to be passed and approved. But if that's something that we can do and bring back regularly, that would be programming at our direction, and we are using our own facility to accommodate it.
Well, if you guys don't mind, I'd love to hear from the gentleman from Career Source so he can just tell us a little bit about how that agreement is set up with Miami-Dade and how we could potentially, you know, just an overview of the service that you provide to the residents of Homestead. Come on up.
Good night. Mayor Losner, Vice Mayor Guzman, council members. Andrew Mullins, I am from Miami-Dade County's Human Resources Department, and here with me is Mr. James Gold. He represents the department Career Source South Florida. Earlier this year, the mayor, in partnership with Human Resources and Career South Florida, launched a series of career fairs, right? And the mayor's goal was to touch the entire Miami-Dade County, north, east, south, west. So we started in February of this year, and our second career fair actually was in Homestead in March at the college behind me. And Vice Mayor Guzman, I think I saw you there. We had, just to give you some numbers, we had around 180, 185 attendees who participated at the career fair that we had here. This is our second effort at South Dade, specifically at Homestead. And we just want to let you know that on next Wednesday, on the 14th, we're expected to have over 20 departments represented from the county, police, fire, seaport, library, corrections. We're also planning on having some departments who are going to be present, such as the Animal Services Department and our Tax Collectors Department, that plans to do on-the-spot hiring for positions that we have. So one of the benefits of this career fair is not only to provide information to the residents within Homestead about how to seek job opportunities with the county at miamidade.gov, but also the opportunity to be hired for certain positions on the spot. Currently at miamidade.gov, participants will have the ability to apply for positions such as bus operator, correctional officer, public service aide, professional engineer, roofing inspector, and it goes on and on and on. So we're asking for your support as a body to waive the fee, and so we can have access to the facility, so we can, bring this to South Dade once again for the second time.
I believe what this body is trying to understand is Miami-Dade County has a much larger budget than City of Homestead. So is there a budget associated with your programming?
Yeah, I don't know the intricacies of the budget. I'm not sure if Mr. Gold can speak more on that, but Career Source South Florida is a department within Miami-Dade County, and they've been in existence for a long time. And they are the experts that handles, job opportunities, career growth, reemployment, employability initiatives. So, but I don't have the specific information as to what the partnership is with them and the city of Homestead.
Mr. Mayor.
I'm sorry, Mayor, go ahead.
So, and I understood that there was a partnership between the county and Career Source. I kind of understood Career Source was a separate entity, but they're not. Career Source is a county agency.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
It is. So we've had career fairs at various libraries and different locations, different geographic areas of the county, and we want to come back to South Dade again before the year ends.
Councilman Fletcher.
Yeah, thank you. So I think this would also be a great opportunity for our Human Resources Department to maybe have a discussion with these folks, because we do have openings in the city that we could also be addressing at that same time. So I think we're going to pay for the fees at some point, but at the same time, it's an opportunity for us to join in at the same time with these companies. And one last thing, not only is he a county employee, but he's also a resident of Homestead. So thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
So let me ask this. If I were to, assuming you don't already have someone providing it, if I were to provide coffee and donuts for the staff that will be present, and if our human resources were to have opportunities available and a staff member there, would you be able to accept those forms of donations from me as a council member? Okay. And then is that something that can Human Resources have a staffer there at the event with a list of the available positions?
Absolutely, we can have a table there with someone from HR and definitely promoting the positions that are open here in the city.
Would the
Absolutely.
county allow for this to happen together?
Would love to partner with you on
Okay,
it.
so then this sounds like an event that the city is going to conduct in conjunction with the county, with Career Force, and so there would not be a fee applicable to waive. And I would like to pay for the coffee and donuts. Is that acceptable? Or I think Larry wanted to do, Councilman Roth wanted to do maybe coffee and donuts.
No, there's,
You wanna
if
cover
we
coffee
have a
with me?
table, then we're working with them, so then in reality, there's no fee. That's the argument the Councilwoman's making.
If you want to work with them and
Okay.
join the thing,
Yeah.
you don't want the
The-
rental space, then do that.
the City
Mayor, are you
attorney gave me the okay. So-
Vice Mayor, are you okay with that arrangement? All right. Sorry to show up late, but I still come. If you'll accept that, those parameters, then I think we're happy to do business with you all and make it happen and make sure it's a successful event and be present and be accountable for its success at the same time.
Thank you so much.
Is there any way that you could provide us with a list of people that you've hired after the job fair so we can, keep track of how these career fairs are going?
It is possible. It would require, now that you've made the request, we now have to make sure that we're tracking, those who were offered positions or as a result of the career fair, they end up getting employment with Miami-Dade County. So
Yeah,
yes, we can do that.
I don't know how they work in the county, but I'd say countywide, hey, any departments that have hired people from this job fair, please send a list of names.
We track every hour.
Every hour
Yes.
of who's getting hired?
I'm from the Q code. Yes,
But can you compile that information and,
I will.
thank you, sir.
I give it to you in the morning.
I appreciate you, Commissioner Gold.
Is that really appropriate for us to be tracking individual folks? Versus we hired X number of residents for Homestead for these positions that have the salaries of X, Y, and Z, as opposed to we hired these people.
Yeah, I just want to keep track to know that the job fairs are a success and that we can continue to get behind it. Because if nobody gets hired and it's happened 4 or 5 times, then I'd say, we're not seeing a return on our investment here.
Right, measurable data that's compliant with HR standards, so thank you.
Appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Let me pose this question. I know it's probably come up to each of you today, but while we're all here together, at some point we had scheduled I don't recall whether it was a workshop or a special call for December 8th. I know that we've just all received, I believe we've all just in the last 2 hours, hour and a half, received information relevant to that proposed meeting. It's my understanding that at least earlier in the week, there was an appetite to delay. Kind of like to have a feeling of whether or not there's a consensus to go forward as scheduled or to accede to the manager's request and allow some time for our consultants to look at the proposal. Vice Mayor.
I specifically would like to see our consultants go through all of the documents that have been sent and for them to give us their recommendation before I feel comfortable making any decisions moving forward.
Anyone else to my left like to weigh in? Councilman Fletcher.
So was the meeting actually ever scheduled for December 8th and noticed?
No, sir, it was not. What, the hope was that we would have the finalized document by last Friday. That way the consultants could work through the weekend and Monday and Tuesday and put their analysis together so we could put an agenda packet together with the development agreement, the land use agreement, plus the comments from the consultant. That way you all would add at least 2 days to look at this. And listen, I'll defer to council, whatever council wants to do, but if you tell me we're having the meeting on Thursday, the consultants are going to be looking at this thing now, you probably won't see anything till that day. And I think this is a very important decision that needs to be made, and I think you all want ample time to actually look at these documents to see, go through it and make a decision.
So I asked this question earlier, and I believe we have to have 48 hours notice for a public meeting.
Is that the time frame for a workshop?
That's what we have done for any special meetings and there's an exception for life safety issues, and the rules require that you would have a finding at the beginning of that meeting that there's a life safety issue for anything under 48 hours. And under the Sunshine Law, it requires reasonable notice, and there's various opinions. We've stuck with 48 hours because that seems to have been safe historically. No one's gotten dinged for
We've crossed that
doing
48-hour line at
Right.
this point.
So I would
Anyway.
say you would call a meeting for sometime next week. I think Thursday may be a little too long. I work on the weekends. I don't know about you all. Maybe not the staff, but maybe if we can get the information from the consultants by Friday, that allows us to review it, and maybe we do
So
something.
Wednesday's a council meeting.
Tuesday or something.
Are there any
Okay.
conflicts on Tuesday?
The plan, we were going to meet with the consultants, I believe tomorrow afternoon as they start going through the documents, so they could start putting their response together. And we were going to sit down with Related one more time with the consultants, right? Which is something that council has repeatedly asked us to do. So if there's any questions, any issues, or anything of that nature. Now, when I spoke to Mr. Milo last night, he seemed amenable to just pushing it back 1 week. And I told him, I go, look, the last thing I want to be is on the phone right now telling you to push this back a week, but we need to do our due diligence here, right? Staff is going to be asking questions of the consultants and staff, and I proffered Thursday next week, and he seemed okay with that.
I'm unavailable on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Unavailable?
Unavailable.
Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay.
Other than I
Wednesday-
might be able to call in, but with the technical difficulties we've had in the past, I don't think I need to be in the room. So I would say Monday or earlier than the council meeting on Wednesday if we're amicable to that. But
Well, that may mean noon, though, for this discussion on.
I'm ready.
on Council Day. I don't know that,
I know everybody can't make that.
Everybody
I'm
can't.
being facetious.
can't
but
do that now, I know. Anyone else
Mayor, if
wish
I may,
to, Council?
I have a
Roth.
conflict on Tuesday also.
Do you have a conflict? So Tuesday's off the table. Wednesday, I think, is off the table.
Thursday, I'm unavailable, and
Thursday's
Monday, I'm
off the ta-
unavailable. And this Friday is not an option?
Unfortunately, no.
On Friday, the 16th, I'm unavailable. So December has been blocked, I think, for,
What's the following Monday?
It's the first day of Hanukkah, if I'm not mistaken.
It is the first day of Hanukkah.
I
so
can make
that's not
myself
fair.
available the 19th.
Why would you know?
I'm sorry?
No, I said, no, why would you know that before Matt? jumped-
Zach whispered it in my ear.
Okay.
That's why Zach is here. He's here to help me.
Pushing out
He keeps
further.
all of the religious calendars for me.
Pushing out further than next week's unacceptable.
I agree. So far, I'm hearing,
How about Saturday?
Are we expecting a really long council meeting? Can we not do it together? We've had long meetings before. I would rather,
You have an LPA, you may have a CRA, and then you have the regular council meeting, which I looked, and from Development Services, I want to say there was about 6 items, if not more. I think a total of 13 items on that agenda.
the LPA is scheduled for a time certain of 5 or 5:30.
5:30.
Could we do 4 and just have an absolute stop of an hour and a half?
We could do that.
do we have sensitive presentations that must go forward? I don't have anything. Just do them at the front of the regular council meeting, like we used to do. All right, so we'll, 4:30 to 5:30 time certain on Wednesday.
I'm sorry, Mayor, I could hardly hear you.
4:30 with a hard stop at 5:30. No, 4 with a hard stop of 5:30
Okay,
on council day.
okay. And for the council meeting, there will be one presentation, is the chief from Punta Gorda, who's going to come down to thank you all for sending down the
Putting the
police.
presentations at the front of the regular council meeting.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I think we should be okay.
All right.
Okay.
So just to clarify on the record, we don't have anybody really willing to go forward as contemplated this Thursday, the 8th. Is that correct? I see a lot of heads nodding up and down.
I think our precedent
Can I
has
call
been
a
48.
special call on 24 hours notice?
I'm sorry?
I believe that I can call a special call on 24 hours notice.
And again, I bring it to the life, I want to go back to the life safety health issue. And look, we've always been conservative with the interpretation of the Sunshine Law with respect to notice. We know that 48 hours is held up, and that's traditionally been the way that we've done it. If the council wants to roll the dice, we roll the dice with something like this, having it, action challenged based on Sunshine Law. It's up to you. And I also, in fairness, no, and I communicated the time frame to Mr. Milo as well in my conversations with him. I was very upfront about.
Mr. Mayor, I'm not here
about 48
night.
hours.
Okay.
I'll be in Vegas.
I don't see that we have a quorum at this point for the 8th as contemplated. So we're talking about a week from tomorrow, 90 minutes set aside, starting at 4 o'clock. So let's go ahead and notice that and advise Mr. Milo that we would not have a quorum for a workshop this week anyway, or a special call under any.
Yes, I'll reach out to him.
Any procedure.
What day will
Vice Mayor?
What day will it be?
14th.
The 8th?
14th.
Same day as the council meeting.
A week from tomorrow.
Wrong about Friday or Saturday?
We don't have quorum. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, go ahead.
That's fine. No. The discussion we had is that there is no quorum on any date prior to the 14th.
But you can call a special session.
Can't have a special session without a quorum.
So, Monday or Tuesday?
We just said that there is not a quorum available between now and next Wednesday. Yes.
Mr. Manager, when will we expect the results of the consultant?
We should have it Thursday or Friday, the latest. You will have it. There is no if, ands, or but. Now that we have the final document, they're on it right now as we speak.
Thank you.
If there's nothing further, do we have a motion?
One
to-
last question.
Yes,
One
Councilman
last.
Fletcher.
Can somebody please fix that light? I know we've talked about it for a while. I know it takes a lot to do it, but have a sharpshooter come in here.
I have
and
an
take it
old
out.
22. I'll come in here and take
Thank
care of
you.
it this weekend.
That, or as long as you're paying for the lift to come in here, let's replace the ones that are out.
Yes, sir.
Jerry,
we'll get-
also, the men's bathroom, if you're looking, the men's bathroom, the faucet on the left-hand side is not working properly.
Okay, we'll
Then use the right one.
we'll talk to facilities.
It's not in the budget. All right. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Thank you all.